Hello student, how are you? I hope you all are fine and happy and healthy at home. So, what did we discuss yesterday? We discussed about 1,1 type disubstituted cyclohexane, and we have learned that 1,1 disubstituted type cyclohexane with respect to the following point. Number 1, geometrical isomerism. Number 2, optical isomerism. Number 3, conformational isomerism. And number 4 is a relative stability. These are the reference point. We are studying this chapter only. Remember, this chapter is a very important. As I told you yesterday's lecture also, why it is important, because 5 mark question always appear on that chapter. So that remember, and therefore, and 1 mark question in the question number 1 and 5 mark question in the question number 3, right? And now, so we are talking about stereochemistry of disubstituted cyclohexane. Let us begin with the second one, second type, which is the which is second type, which is a 1 2 1 2 type. We can call it as a 1 2 type, right? 1 2 type. How many type we are going to learn? Do you know? Yes. How many? There are the 4 type: 1 1, 1 2, 1 3 and 4. Because disubstituted cyclohexane, there are 4 structural isomers are possible, and therefore depending upon its structural isomer, depending upon the relative position of the substituent, we have the 4 types. And number 1, 1 1, 1 2, 1 3 and 1 4 types are there. And first thing what we are learning, geometrical isomerism. Whether that first type shows a geometrical isomerism, we know that in a 1 1 type there is a no geometrical isomer is possible. Why? The reason is very simple. Because in any cyclohexane, both the substituents, whatever the nature of that substituent, if both the substituents are present on the same carbon atom, they do not show geometrical isomer. Geometrical isomer means what? Cis isomer and the trans isomer. In case of the cyclic cyclohexane, you always remember cis means what and trans means what. Cis means what? Both the substituents are present, are coming on the same side of the general plane, that is known as a cis. Whether they are above the plane or below the plane, but they are on the same side, and that type of the stereoisomer is known as a cis isomer. In 1 1 type there is a no geometrical isomerism is not possible, or there is no found geometrical isomerism. Now in the second one is optical isomer. For optical isomerism, what is the criteria? There is, the molecule should be chiral in nature. If that molecule is a chiral, then and then that possesses the optical activity, that shows the optically active compound. Otherwise, and for optical activity, there is another thing to find out, means element of symmetry. There are 3 types of element of symmetries are there. Yesterday we already know that plane of symmetry, center of symmetry, and third one is the alternative axis of symmetry. And these symmetries you can learn from the group theories. But as far as this chapter is concerned, we are going to learn only one symmetry, that is the plane of symmetry. How to remember it? It's very easy. You just draw the divide the molecule into as a two equal parts if they are identical, similar, it means that they possess or they shows mirror plane of symmetry, and therefore or plane of symmetry, that compound is optically inactive in nature. Remember, those compound shows optical activity or optically active in nature or optically inactive in nature. Suppose compound has plane of symmetry, that compound is optically inactive in nature, and those compound do not shows plane of symmetry, or those do not possess plane of symmetry, they are optically active in nature. Remember, right? And in case of the 1,1 disubstituted cyclohexane, there is a mirror plane is present, and therefore 1,1 disubstituted cyclohexane do not show optical, it is optically inactive in nature, right? Because it is optically in nature because it has a plane of symmetry. That's it. And third one, what is that? Conformational isomerism. Conformational isomerism, there we have seen A and B are two conformational isomers. There is a process, because we have considered only as a chair conformation. Chair conformation is the most conformational isomer of the cyclohexane, that's why we are considering that one. At room temperature, it continuously go on changing into one form into as another one chair conformation into as another chair conformation, and therefore that A and B, that is depending on upon the size of the X and Y, right? So that is A and B type of the conformations are there. And now is the last one is the relative stability. Relative stability are also very easy to determine its relative stability depending upon the size of the atom. If, and always remember, in general, bulkier group always prefer to exist at a equatorial position, and therefore we have considered X and Y. These are the two groups present on the same carbon atom. Is if X is a greater than Y, then B stereoisomer is more stable than the A. Similarly, X is bigger than the Y, then the A conformation is more stable than the Y. If X and Y they are the identical, then both are equal, showing as equal stability. These are the things we have learned yesterday, and today we are going to discuss about 1,2 type. For example, 1,2 type. For example, 1,2 dimethyl 1,2 dimethyl cyclohexane, right? 1,2 dimethyl cyclohexane, that is one of the example. Now here first point of reference is what? First one, you have to find out the geometrical isomerism, whether 1,2 type has a geometrical isomerism or not, because both the substituents are present at 1 and 2 position, that are the relative position, and therefore it shows the geometrical isomerism. 1,2 type exists, shows geometrical, or it suggests geometrical means cis and trans. Now first one, it shows that the geometrical isomerism. Therefore we are going to consider here first one is a cis or trans. We are going to first learn the trans. First one is a cis. Let us see here. Cis 1,2, or what we can call it as a AE or EA form. Cis 1,2 AE or EA form of 1 2 dimethyl 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 cyclohexane, right? Dimethyl cyclohexane. Now, how do you find whether it is cis or trans? Let me clear this concept. Now, suppose as we know that, suppose here is this one, right? This is one of the compound ion. Now I am drawing some of the compound here. Randomly I am drawing, right? So remember here some of the compound. So I am trying to give you the idea how to find out geometrical isomerism in cyclohexane, because after 1 2 1 3 1 4 all are showing as a geometrical isomerism in case of the cis and trans. Remember, only 1 1 no geometrical isomerism, present. But here 1 2 then 1 3 and 1 4 they show geometrical isomerism. Now look at here 1 2 means what? AE form. Suppose one methyl group, let us see, one of the methyl group is present over here, CS3, right, at axial position. This is the axial position. How? Because this methyl group exactly perpendicular to the general plane. If you put I am putting here duster, what do I see? That methyl group is exactly above the plane, and now E means equatorial, and we know that equatorial bond are drawn like they are parallel to this 1 and 6 carbon atom. Parallel means they never meet to each other, and that type of the bond is called as projecting outward. So this is a methyl group. What is this? This form is called as a AE form or EA form. And look at why I am calling it as a cis, because both the methyl group are coming on the, they are present on the same side of the general plane. Look at, if putting I am here duster, that methyl group is above the plane. Again exact put on that corner only, what do I see? This methyl group is above the plane, and therefore it is a cis. Now is it it is your turn. Now tell me what type of the, suppose I am putting here is a one methyl group is here, another one is here. What type of the geometry? That 1 2 dimethyl cyclohexane. So this. Now tell me what type of the form or what type of it is. It is a E. Look at, this one is equatorial, this one also has equatorial. But whether it is a cis or trans, how to know it is a trans? How do I know? Because I am knowing that I am putting a duster here, suppose. Well, what do I see? That methyl group is below the, I am putting duster here, this methyl group is above the plane, and therefore this is a trans. One is below the plane, one is above the plane, and therefore this is a trans form. Now let us see here, one methyl group I am putting here and one methyl group I am putting here. What type of the form it is? It is a 1,4 type, 1 2 3 4, right? This is a 1,4 type. But 1,4 type, whether it is a cis or trans, it is a trans. Look at here, methyl group is above the plane, this methyl group is below the plane. So AA form, but this is a trans form, right? Trans. Suppose I am putting here, in this case, one methyl group is here, suppose CS3, and one methyl group I am putting here. What is this form? This is a AE form again. This is above the plane, this is also as above the plane, therefore it is a cis. Now suppose I am putting here, one methyl group is here and another methyl group will be here, 1,4 type, right? So what type of the, whether it is a cis, just you tell me whether it is a cis or trans. You can clearly now tell me it is a trans, because it is, this methyl group is below the plane, this methyl group is above the plane, this is the EE form, and that is a trans isomer. Suppose I have one methyl group here, another methyl group here. What type of the form it is? It is a 1,2 type, but it is a trans. Look at here, methyl group is above the plane, this methyl group is below the plane, and therefore it is a trans again. Understood this? How to find out the cis or trans conformation of the 1,2 disubstituted. Clear everyone? Okay. Now let us see here. This is a cis. Now cis and trans is very easy to find, and therefore there are the first type cis. I am considering here only as a 1,2 type, that is I have taken as a 1,2 dimethyl cyclohexane, cis 1,2 AE or EA form, that is 1,2 dimethyl cyclohexane. What does it mean? If both the substituents are present on the same side of the general plane, that type of the conformation is known as 1,2 dimethyl cyclohexane derivatives. Understood this? Cis. Now I am trying to explain the remaining point there, because these stereochemistry mainly involve the 4 points. One is a geometrical isomerism, second one is optical isomerism, third one is a conformational isomerism, and fourth one is a relative stability. That's it, nothing else. And even here cis 1,2 AE or EA form 1,2 dimethyl cyclohexane, that derivative I have considered here. Now here I am going to draw the structure here. So look at or remember, observe carefully or notice this structure, how I am drawing as a structure. And even though this structure look as a very simple, but many of you may find it is very difficult, but you practice it, and as we know that practice makes perfect, or that is one saying is there. According to that, you try to practice on a rough notebook first, and then one day you will be well, or you can draw the better or the nice structure than me. Okay, now let us see here. I am drawing as a 1,2 dimethyl cyclohexane. First one, draw the structure of 1,2 dimethyl cyclohexane. So here, as we know that we are considering here the most stable conformational isomerism is this one, right? This is a structure, right? So not okay. This is a chair conformation. Now A means what? One of the methyl group which is present at axial position. E means what? One of the methyl group which is present at equatorial position. AE form, right? And why it is a cis? Because I am putting here, suppose I am putting finger here, methyl group is above plane, I am putting finger here, I see the methyl group is above the plane, and therefore it is a cis form, right? Now this is you call it, this is a structure number first. Similarly here you have to draw the fourth structure. Now what I am going to do here, the flipping is a process. Axial becomes as a equatorial, and equatorial becomes as a axial. The model of this, actual model, I will show in the next lecture. Right now I don't have a model with me, so I will yesterday while studying as a 1,1 type of the cyclohexane, I have shown you that model, right? So that model you have to imagine here. This is a methyl group and one methyl group here, AE form. Now I am doing the flipping process. This is a flipping. Flipping is a process where axial becomes as a equatorial and equatorial becomes as the axial. Now I am numbering this. This is a carbon number 1, this is carbon number 2, this is a third one, 4, 5 and 6, right? Now after the flipping we can flipping, what is happening? Axial becomes as equatorial and equatorial becomes as axial. Now this carbon atom, this carbon number 1 is above the plane and carbon number 4 is below the plane. After the flipping, what is happening here? This carbon number 1 goes below the plane and hence that carbon number 4 goes above the plane. So how it looks? Let us see here. How does it looks? Let us see here. It is looking as like this, but here the space is short. Let me draw the structure is very difficult to draw on such a small blackboard. Still, let me try this one. This is a structure. Okay, now this is a carbon number 1, carbon number 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? Now look at here, carbon number 1 which goes below the plane, this axial. Now according to our flipping process, that becomes as a equatorial, right? Carbon number 1 becomes as a equatorial here, but it remains above the plane. Now look at here, equatorial, this one at carbon number 2, that becomes as a axial one here, CH3, right? Axial one, that becomes as a axial one. Now flipping is a process, one of the chair conformation converting into as another chair conformation, and during that process axial bond becomes as a equatorial and equatorial bond becomes as a axial, right? This structure you can call it as a structure number 2. Now I am drawing here dot 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 dot. What do you see here? This dot dot is nothing but as a mirror, right? This you can call it as a mirror. And as we know that mirror, what do you see in a mirror? After taking a bath in the morning, we are standing in front of the mirror. So that mirror you imagine there, and what do you see? You can see your image in the mirror, nice image. So here, how does it look in the mirror? This compound, this looks like this. This is a mirror. So this looks like this, right? This methyl group, you remain. This methyl group looks like this. Here CH3, right? And this equatorial, this methyl group looks like this. This is a carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? Only what we kept the mirror here and we saw the its mirror image, right? Now this we can call it as a structure number 3, and after the flipping process, or you can call it as a flip. After flipping, what is happening? That axial becomes as equatorial and equatorial becomes as axial. So now above carbon atom that goes below the plane, right? Like this. This is carbon number 1. This one is a 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Numbering we are keeping as it is, only carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clock, right? Now after flipping, this axial becomes as a equatorial, it looks like this, right? CH3, and this equatorial becomes as a axial one, right? After the flipping, and this is a structure number 4. Got it? Now what do you see here? This and this are, they are mirror images of each other, right? That is there, mirror images of each other. And 1, 2, 3 and 4, there are 4 structure we got here. Now we are talking about the optical isomers. Now optical isomers, while talking second point, because geometrical isomerism, yes, 1,2 disubstituted cyclohexane has a geometrical isomerism, and now second point we are discussing about the optical activity, right? Optical activity, whether the optical isomerism, whether that compound is optically active or optically inactive, that we are going to find. Now, uh, now whether that compound is optically active, optically active or optically inactive, right? Suppose the compound has, what I said, if compound has a plane of symmetry, that compound is optically inactive in nature. If compound does not have plane of symmetry, that compound is optically active in nature. Active and inactive. If plane of symmetry is present, or mirror plane of symmetry is present, that compound is optically inactive in nature. If plane of symmetry is not present, ultimately there is a plane of symmetry. That compound is optically active in nature. Now look at, if you look at here, if you draw from anywhere, there you cannot find the plane of symmetry in 4 molecules. 4 molecules, all molecules are what we can call it, there are the 4 different molecules are there, and they do not possess there is a no plane of symmetry, and it expected to be what I just now said. If the compound do not show plane of symmetry, that compound must be optically active in nature. This compound expected, now I am remember here, expecting what I am expecting, this compound should be optically active in nature. Here I am, now I am expecting, remember the word expecting. Expecting means what? They should be optically active in nature. We are talking about second point is optical activity or optical isomerism. Now expecting, they must be optically active in nature. They should be optically active in nature, but these compounds are optically inactive in nature. Remember, this is expectation, this is expecting. What I am expecting, these compounds do not possess mirror plane of symmetry. They should be optically active in nature. But what I find, or what the experimental result shows, that these compounds are optically inactive in nature. And then what does it mean? Why they are optically inactive in nature? Now look at there. When I am flipping one of the compound in the 2, it becomes identical with this 3. Remember, when I am flipping where the first structure flip, we get structure 2 which is identical with 3. Similarly, when I flip 3, we get 4 which is identical to the 3. And therefore, this molecule becomes as a racemic mixture. Do you know that racemic mixture? Racemic mixture means what? They are the optically inactive in nature. These are the racemic mixture. Due to this racemic mixture, these compounds are optically inactive in nature. Got it? Why they are optically inactive? Because these compounds are the racemic mixture. Racemic means equal proportion of this compound, and therefore resulting deflection in the polarimeter shows as a 0. 50% are there. That is called as a racemic mixture. And remember, so this is the second. Conformational isomerism. Now third point I am talking about here, conformational isomer. Just rotating as a carbon-carbon single bond. Look at here, I got as a 4 different structures are there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. these are called as a conformation. What would be the relationship between 1 and 2 and 2 and 4? They are the enantiomers. They are enantiomers. 1 and 3 and 2 and 4, they are the enantiomers. And enantiomer means what? Having as a mirror images of each other like our hand. They are non-superimposable mirror images to each other. That type of the compound is called as a enantiomer. And diastereomers means what? They are the totally different possessing the optical activity, and that is called as. This is all about the conformational isomerism. Now the last point remaining here to discuss is the, I think, how to calculate the relative energy, relative stability. Fourth point that we will see next lecture. Let us stop today here. Thank you. Have a nice day.